Perspective number one, gain an eternal perspective. The second one is to develop the answer to this question. Who the boss? You see, in our individualistic society, I think most of us know that I'm the boss. I'm the boss of me. But as the great theologian Bob Dylan once said, you gotta serve somebody. You gotta serve somebody. Listen, Jesus put it this way. He said, no one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Now, I've always been amazed how nearsighted we are spiritually. I mean, you've probably heard this story before, but it's camp meeting and I can tell good stories at least one more time. You never heard it from me, right? It's a story, the first time I heard it was John Maxwell, but I got to tell you something. I've experienced this in my own life with my own family. Took my grandson out to McDonald's one time and bought him some fries. And they asked me, did I want to, what do they call that? Supersize them or upsize? Anyway, so I even got the big fries, eh? And we went and sat down, and you know how it is. You turf out the fries, you put some ketchup on the thing, and he was loving his fries. And the truth is, I kind of wanted to love some too. Anybody ever tried this with a grandchild? Take one for yourself. Now, your grandchildren, of course, being raised in fine German Christian homes, would never do this. But we English. How English am I? Arabic. Anyway, my grandkids said, those are my fries. You don't eat my fries. And I'm thinking to myself, like, kid, don't you get it? Who was it that stood at the cash register and put out the money for these fries? And now all of a sudden they're your fries. Don't you understand where these fries came from? And not only that, look at me and look at you, 6-year-old. I could take those fries and there's not a thing you could do but cry about it. In fact, I could make it so you could never have a French fry again for the rest of your life. And it could be a pretty short life if you don't get out of my face. But even more, like, son, are you daft? I don't need your stupid fries. I can go and buy my own fries if I want to. In fact, I could bury you in fries. If he understood how much wiser it would be to love me than his stupid, measly fries. Funny it, isn't it, how we are. How we kind of forget who the boss is. And how easy it is for us to get hung up on our measly fries that'll be gone in just a few minutes. So these are the two perspectives you got to develop. If you're going to get past worry, you got to remember who the boss is. You got to get that perspective straightened away. And then you got to get an eternal perspective. A lordship perspective and an eternal perspective. But once we've got the perspective issue settled, then let me give you 4 practical worry busters. And if you're a worrier, you need to hear this. This is the word of the Lord. Barrier buster number 1. Worry is wasted. It's wasted energy, wasted time. It's a waste of your life. Listen to these statistics. And the internet gave me these statistics. You could probably find your own on the internet. I don't know how authoritative they are, but they sure sound real to me. 40% of what we worry about never comes to pass. 30% of what we worry about happened in the past, and there's not a thing you can do to change it. 10% of what we worry about relates to our health. And what's really funny and a little bit sad is worrying about it doesn't make your health any better. 8% of your worries are legitimate worries. But even your worrying doesn't change that. So your worrying will not make the loan go through. Your worry will not make you pregnant or unpregnant. Your worry will not get rid of the cancer. Your worry will not pay the bills. Your worry does absolutely not one useful thing. So Jesus brings the point home when he says this: can any of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life? And in verse 34, he says this: therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day, how many of you know this? Each day has enough trouble of its own. Anybody say amen? You know, have you ever noticed when you look at the calendar that each one of those days is in its own little box? Hey, there's a little square for each day. You know what? Live in your square. And don't get into the next square. And don't worry about the last square. I mean, there's nothing you can do about the square that passed, and there's nothing you can do to change the square that's coming. So you know what? Handle today's square, and you'll be a whole lot better off. Worry is wasted. Barrier buster number 2.